We have a very special lady with us today, Jackie Hyde. For people of Bolton and the She Inspires community, Jackie needs no introduction. But for others, Jackie Hyde is the MD and the powerhouse behind Stanmore Insurance Brokers and our headline sponsor for the awards. Jackie's story is one of determination and success, making her a true inspiration for women in business. Her passion for excellence shines through in every aspect of her work, including the thoughtful refinement of category descriptions to perfectly match the She Inspires awards criteria. With Jackie's support, we're not just celebrating achievements, but also honouring the journey of extraordinary women like her who are making a difference in the world. Welcome, Jackie.
Well, thank you, Ray. I'm not quite sure I can live up to all that, but I shall do my best.
I think you already have. To begin with, as a successful businesswoman yourself, how important do you think it is to recognise and celebrate the achievements of women in various fields through initiatives like She Inspires Awards?
It's so important, Ray. I think if I I don't know, tell my journey a bit really. So I had a really tough time in 2014. Number of things really. I had a business partner who had a really bad accident and suffered a brain injury, followed by a colleague of mine whose daughter was ill, and then subsequently got diagnosed with breast cancer. So 2014 was probably one of my toughest years. And then in 2015, I went for my very first award. And I think at that time, I was probably at the lowest I could be, having just in 2015 also had reconstructive breast surgery. So I was really low, and I just went for this. Somebody put me in for an award, and I was even not thinking of doing it. And then I had the opportunity, and I thought, oh, let's just do it. So I wrote my journey and what I went. I went for an interview. And on that particular day, I just said, I don't want any big fuss. I'm just going with my daughter. So the two of us went. We were at a table as far away from the stage as you could possibly imagine. I was with two women who didn't win. And then when I came, I didn't even hear my name. My daughter said, crying out loud, Mum, you've won when you get up. And I cried on stage. It was that emotional for me that somebody had seen I'd got through it. And that I'd not only got through it, but I succeeded through it. And I think from that moment, I realised what awards were about. I thoroughly enjoyed the judging process. I felt I'd been really cared about through that. And it started to sort of help me with my own self-belief of who I am, what I am. And I think for women, having worked with women for many, many years in lots of different areas and now starting to mentor women, how they feel, a lot of them, is how I felt all those years ago. Yeah. So unfortunately, we're not changed a great deal in lots of ways. So I think that whole recognition part is so, so important. And it does a huge amount for people. And I know now other women that have won awards or even just being finalists or just nominations. I've seen today all the nominees putting notes on social media how excited they are. They're an amazing thing, and more people should do it.
That's fantastic. Well, that's quite a story. Now, you've been the headline sponsor for She Inspires Awards for many years now. So as the sponsor, what do you hope to achieve to promote through your association with the awards, both within your company and in the wider community?
Well, that sort of follows the previous question for me, right? It's about what it did for me. So I want to tell everybody else that it needs to do that for them. So I think that's my main priority. First of all, getting involved in the awards. As you well know, being involved with Gulnars means that once you're in it, you can't get out of it. And more importantly, once you're in it, the next stage comes. Well, that's been a good thing for me. It's worked well for me. I've learned things as well. So I've learned about other businesses, other women, their journeys, what their challenges have been, which brings back to me then in my life and what I can do as an individual. As a business, it's been really important for me because I think for me in Bolton particularly, I want to develop my business within Bolton. I'm part of the Bolton community. And Bolton, I think, is a really, really strong community. Businesses in Bolton like to work with businesses in Bolton. People in business want to support charities in Bolton. So it's a really strong network. So for me, so when I started, you know, I sort of said to Gullness, why do you want Stanmore? You know, I'm sure there's a really big organisation that, you know, you go to these awards and the headline sponsors are a bank or, you know, somebody with a big name. And Gullness said, no, I want somebody out of our community. So that sort of resonated with me. And then if I look at that first time I did that, you know, getting up on the stage, learning to say something. So every time it challenges me as a person to do something different. But it's done great things to recognise us as a business. So people now know who I am. People know Stanmore's name, and that's only a good thing, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? So there's a lots of things for me as to why I'm involved in what I do, and I really enjoy it. I have great fun with the judges, with Gullness, with listening to the nominees. You know, yeah, I love it. It's great.
Fantastic. So you may have answered the next question actually. What motivates you to continue your involvement year after year? And have there been any notable benefits in opportunities that have arisen for Stanmore Insurance as a result of your involvement with the awards?
Yeah, it's just introduced me to different people, and it's been really lovely last year, particularly where people were coming up and asking to talk to me and wanting to have a one-to-one afterwards, etc. Which I'm a strong believer, you need those one-to-ones, you need those chances to talk, because just by listening to different people's views of where they're going, it's opened doors for me to do different stuff. So, for example, at the moment on my nursery side, I'm working on a SEND project for special educational needs within the nursery sector. I've already met 2 or 3 people via the She Inspires who want to join forces with me and help me with that project. So I found support and other people who can help me and my business, not just to get clients, but projects I want to do. I have a strong link with the university. So again, being in the same room and learning from each other is a really good thing. So that's the sort of stuff for me. It's just opportunities, doors, meeting people, and everybody generally being on the same page. Because I think a lot of people in that room, when you meet them all, they've all got the same sort of core values, if that makes sense.
Yeah. As you know, we've sent out notifications to our 2024 nominees this week. There's a real buzz on social media and excitement all around. It is a great feeling when you realise that someone finds you're inspiring and worthy of recognition. And I know a lot of the nominees feel like that. You've been there several times yourself. You've been heavily involved in both judging awards and have also been successful in entering and winning awards. Can you give some tips to nominees as to what they should be thinking about with the judging process?
Yeah, there's quite a bit. I think the first one is read the criteria. So each award has a criteria that says this is what we want this is what we expect, this is what's written on the tin, this is what you need to be able to say you are, or your business is, or whatever category you're going in for. That criteria is what the judges keep going back to. So they keep going back to that and saying, do you tick that box? Do you tick that box? So I have got some of the criteria in front of me, Ray. So please bear with me while I read a few. I'll try and pick a couple of things out that I think are important. So I naturally go to Businesswoman of the Year because that's my bag, if you like. But I've been involved in the rest of them, really. But if you sort of think about that, it's saying that it's looking for somebody with vision, innovative ideas, leadership, and commitment to diversity. So if you look at that little sentence on its own, when you are either writing about yourself as a nominee, or you're presenting, or you are being interviewed, have those things in your mind so that the judges can say, tick, yes, they did that. Oh, yes, they've mentioned that. Because they will all count to the scoring of what the judges are looking for. And when we're doing the judging, we are looking for everybody to hit those criteria. So another one like is the rising star, for example. So we're looking for exceptional promise. So we're not expecting somebody to have hit all the ticks on those boxes, but they're on that journey and they're looking at where they're going to be. So it's things like that that I think if you read the criteria, there's a lot of thought gone into that to make sure that we can get the best person to win the award, and we want them to hit those. They might not hit all of them, but if they're hitting a number of them, that's great. But if they're not mentioning any of them, they're not going to get the points. So I think that's the first thing I would say. The second thing is everybody's on a journey. And it sounds really quirky, doesn't it? It's like when you're on the X Factor, everybody's on a journey. What was your journey? But we are on a journey in our lives, and you've got a story to tell. So think about your story and tell it from a personal point of view of what your story is. Because if you're running a business or you're running a charity or a leader or whatever, talk from your experience of where you are from that. So what have you achieved on that journey? But also what challenges have you jumped? What hurdles have you overcome in all those areas? Because those are really the exciting parts that we want to know about. So try and think about all those things. And if there are some facts that they're looking for, so in this, going back to the business one where it's talking about growth and things like that, throw some facts in if you can, some various bits and pieces. I remember I sort of next story of my one of the biggest awards I won was an insurance award called the Insurance Times Award, and that's go to London to present. And somebody said to me, make sure that you take something with you at the end. So I've got loads of really good tips. I've got some questions. I had to do a presentation. But there was an area where you had to, somebody said to me, make sure you take something with you that you can physically give. Now, this is obviously a live interview. So I went and I was really, really nervous. And one of the things I took was a little brochure that had all my teddy bear stuff that was on it that showed how we marketed ourselves. And we just changed the strap line, which is to the bear that cares. I had 5 burly fellas all sat there in this room. At the end, I just said, because we're the bear that cares. And I nearly fell out of the room because I thought, I can't believe I've just said that. But when we won it, they actually mentioned it and said it was a passion that came through. So they remembered me. And sometimes just that little bit of making yourself a bit more memorable might help. So that's just my, scary moment, shall we say.
Very good and quite memorable.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about the judging process. The awards has a very robust judging process, as you know, because you're the main architect. It's a 2-stage process designed to give every finalist a fair chance. And part of the process involves virtual interviews with the judges. Why do you think that this is so important?
Some of us are great writers and some of us are not. Gulnaz is a great writer. It's her natural ability. It's what she's really good at. It's where her flair is. I work really hard to be a good writer. It's not my natural flair. So I think writing's important. Try and get stuff down on the writing. But when you open the door for a live interview or a virtual interview, you get the passion of what somebody's got.
Yeah.
I think that's where I see the magic happens when you get that interview. And even if somebody's stumbling on a few words, they suddenly come alive when they're talking. So I think for us, the actual opportunity to listen to somebody, we see something different than what you see in words, if that makes sense. And what we want to do is to give everybody equal chance. The great writers, along with the not so great writers, who may come across differently in a conversation. You and I are having a conversation now, and you might say something, I'll follow it, and that might lead to something else.
Yeah.
And often the judges can help that move itself along in respect of we might pick something up that we think, oh, that's interesting. Can we know a bit more? So I think for me, I think it really gives you a chance to shine.
Well, meeting the judges can obviously be a nerve-wracking experience for some, even though they've been nervous year on year. Our finalists have blown the judges away. What tips can you give in respect of giving a presentation and how to conduct yourself in the interview?
Everybody will be nervous. People think that they're not nervous. My knees are shaking when I get up on the stage at the She Inspires. We all have nerves. Nerves are a good thing in lots of ways if you can manage them well. The first thing I would sort of say, if you're asked to do a presentation, plan it, think about it. It doesn't have to be PowerPoint. There is a statement, death by PowerPoint. If you're going to do a PowerPoint, my tip would be don't make it wordy. Just have something that prompts you to think about what you need to be thinking about, as opposed, so it's more of it's a prompt that will remind me to say this, from that point of view. So try and make your PowerPoint a bit interesting, put some little images on or whatever, but you don't have to do PowerPoint. If PowerPoint's not your thing and it's too scary, don't do it. It's fine. You can just talk about what you want to do and have the key points. It's your opportunity to have your 5 minutes or whatever time scale is agreed. It's your chance to say what you want to say without being questioned, and just don't worry about that. And when you're doing it, just think that you're talking to a friend, because the judges are really friendly. They've all been there themselves. They all want you to do really, really well. So I don't think you need to be. Nerves are good. I really believe that nerves are a good thing, but just try and relax and enjoy your moment. So I think they would be my potential tips, really. In respect of your presentation, time yourself. So if you've been told you've got 3 minutes or 5 minutes, just practice a bit and make sure that you're not waffling too much, because going back to my London thing, I'd got through 4 slides and then I got my bell to tell me I'd run up, and I'd literally just got a little bit of time to just finish it off, because what you don't want to feel is that you've missed something you wanted to say. So try, if you can, do a bit of timing and test yourself out with some friends. That's always a good thing. You ask me some questions and I'll give them you back and see what might happen.
That's brilliant. Finally, what advice would you give to aspiring women entrepreneurs and professionals based on your experience in business and your involvement in initiatives like She Inspires Awards?
If I could do certain things again, I think I would always remember to be you. Don't try and be somebody else, because somebody else is already taken. Just be you and have a go outside your comfort zone. So there's lots of stuff that I do that I'm really nervous about. And the view for me is, if you don't try, you'll never know what you get out of it. Most people want you to be successful. People like working with successful people. They like being with successful people. Somebody once told me you shouldn't have a nice car when you go there. But I actually think if you've got a nice car, people think you're doing well and are pleased for you. I don't think anybody wants you not to be successful or not be happy in yourself or whatever from that point of view. And I would certainly say immerse yourself into your community. Sponsoring's a really good thing. It's not your be all and end all of your marketing. Don't expect that I'm going to sponsor this award or this event and it's going to, my phone's going to stop ringing, going to ring forever. That's just not going to happen. But if you want to promote yourself within within a town or in a, one thing's great about She Inspires now, it's not just Bolton anymore. It's national, it's global, it's all sorts of things that you're getting opportunities for. So I think there's stuff like that people should be thinking about, just being associated with something. I'm amazed at how many phone calls I get from national companies now. I've even had something recently about being involved in something in India, and I'm not quite sure I'm qualified for this. So I think it just will open different things, and just have a go. What's to lose?
Exactly. Well, Jackie Hyde, thank you so much for your advice today. It's really, really helpful. And thank you for everything you do for She Inspires Awards.
You're welcome. I always get it back, so it's fine.
Well, I shall always remember you as that lady sitting on the table farthest from the stage who couldn't hear her name being called and being urged by her daughter, Mum, you've won. Get up.
Yeah, so you just have to remember, if you sit at the back, you still might win.
Exactly.
Yes.
I like it. A good lesson. Thanks, Jackie. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.